Izzy, listen, it's your first time in England, isn't it? Or is it first time in London?
First time in the UK, I believe. First time in London as well, yeah.
Wow. And is everyone looking after you so far?
So far, so good. I love the hospitality. Yesterday, I just spent a lot of it in bed just to catch up on some rest that was much needed from my media tour from New York and Boston. But yeah, I'm very well rested right now. And so far, everyone's been really just delightful to me. Yeah.
So you've come from Texas, and this was a big deal, of course. Unanimous decision against Robert Whittaker, UFC 271. Just tell us a little bit about how that went down and how you're feeling now when you look back at it all.
The fight was, for me, not what I wanted it to be, because the way I beat him the first time, I annihilated him. So I expected to do better the second time. Even though he has gotten better, I still think he wasn't on my level, and I showed that on the night. But yeah, after the fight, I haven't watched it back yet. I will soon. But yeah, I've just been enjoying myself, eating, just living life, enjoying the cities that I'm in. Like I said, I just came back from New York, went to Boston, so I'm just kind of touching the land, if you will, and just getting amongst it with the culture. Yeah.
Can it be difficult then to kind of motivate yourself? You said that you annihilated him the first time, Robert Whittaker, to then go and do it again. Is it tough to motivate yourself again, knowing that you're on a completely different level to he is?
No. For me, I was very motivated to take him out, and I was on my way during the first round, but I've kind of already done some stock taking on myself as to why I maybe took my foot off the gas a little bit. And I know I already know why, but this is something that I have to go back and sit down with some more and elaborate with myself, let it incubate a bit more. But I already know why. And before the fight, wasn't hard for me to get motivated. I was already gunning for him.
So who is it next then? Who would you want to fight next?
Jared Cannonier. He fought on my card. Yeah, I like the guy. He's the dark horse of the division. I've set him up twice now to try and fight me, and he fumbled, but this time he didn't. He's ready to rumble.
Israel, just looking at your weight, you look very cut. When you enter the ring, you look like there's not much fat on there. So is it something that you've looked at as you get older? You're 32 now. Would you consider going up and competing, especially if you keep on annihilating opponents?
Yeah, I'll do it again. I did it early last year when I fought Jan, and I failed that side mission. But some people thought I did quite well. Some people thought I won, but I thought I lost the fight just. But yeah, I'll definitely go back up later on and do another side mission at 205. But right now, I'm gonna rule 185 with my iron black fist.
Tell us how amazing it is at the moment. Africa have 3 world champions in the UFC right now. They occupy 3 of the 4 pound for pound rankings in the UFC. I mean, how proud does that make you for a start? And how much do you feel like it's changing?
I feel like, honestly, when the game of mixed martial arts, MMA, really grasped the hold of Africa as a continent, it's going to be over for the rest of the world for a while. And I've used this term before. It's going to be like when 50 Cent dropped In the Club.
Oh, true.
And then everyone else just sat down and just, all right, it's his time, It's going to be our time. And it's crazy because right now we're in it. And it's hard for people to kind of just, you can't see the forest for the trees. But later on, when I'm on my, hover rocking chair or whatever, and I'm looking at my grandkids, I talk about the legend of Kamaru Usman, the legend of Francis Ngannou, and myself, and how we just dominated at the same time and no one could touch us. It would be something that's just like legendary forever.
You said there, and you're right, you've got 3 world champions coming from Africa. Surely then we're going to see a UFC in Africa.
100%.
It must be close.
100%. Even Dana said recently in an interview, he said, before my career is done, I want to hold an event in Africa. So that's it's already been talked about amongst us. So yeah, it's going to happen, but it's just a lot of moving parts right now and a lot of red tape because, I love my people in Nigeria, but, there's sometimes people get too greedy. So yeah, but it will happen. It will happen, definitely. It has to, and it's up to us to make it happen. We'll make it happen soon.
Izzy, does that make you prouder than anything, the fact that you represent Africa and you do it in the way that you do? Is that bigger to you than any payday you can get?
100%. I love money, don't get me wrong, but that's why when Kamaru's peanut head manager keeps on trying to drive a wedge between us and say you two should fight, I'm like, no, it's not about money, because we can make tens of millions doing other things, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than us three combined, because there's people who look at us and be like, man, it's almost like the Avengers, almost like some kind of, like we just assembled. There's an image I have in my head when I see us three as champions, and it just, man, it makes me just swell with pride when I think about that and what we've all come through to get to where we are. And people like us, people who look like us, look at us and see themselves represented on the world stage. Representation matters, man, and we're representing for real.
Absolutely love that. One fight a lot of people wanted to see, and unfortunately it's not happened, is probably would have been one of the biggest fights out there.
Yeah.
You and John Jones.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed that never happened?
I wouldn't say disappointed. Nah, not disappointed, because, hey, I'm still young. I'm still young, and it's the fat lazy hat hasn't sung yet, put it that way.
Izzy, just looking at that last fight, I thought your evasion skills were very good. You know, when Robert tried takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
You've got multiple disciplines: kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu. Is that an area where you want to improve on, or do you just prefer fights on your feet?
Always. I'm always improving my grappling. Even my stand-up, I'm always improving. But I showed some of my grappling prowess in the defensive manner in my last fight. But I think it's time to start to be offensive with my grappling, because a lot of people are sleeping on me. And I'm telling you, man, when I shoot for a takedown, that might be the easiest takedown ever landed in the UFC, because no one's going to expect it from me.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask about what part and parcel with UFC fighters in history as well, and even like when Conor McGregor came on the scene, and every press conference he went to always wore a suit, always looked really smart, and did the talking as well, and obviously his talent can back it up. How much of what you do, because you are the full package, and that's probably why people adore you so much, because not only do you have this incredible talent, but you also have this big personality that goes with it, these extravagant walk-ons as well. What's behind those?
Me. This is just me authentically expressing myself. Same way with McGregor. He was authentically expressing himself as he can. So for me, you know, I mean, you heard the opening. I could hear Naruto in the background, you know, stuff with anime, stuff with dance, stuff with, you know, just me expressing myself. Whenever I do that, people who can relate gravitate. You know what I mean? And that's how I get my fan base, because I'm not trying to be anyone else but authentically me.
That's just quickly as well. You touched on the anime and your love for that as well, and the transition from dancing into fighting. For our listeners that don't know, tell us about that.
That's just I'm 32. I look 23, but I feel like 12 sometimes.
You do.
You know? I feel like 12 sometimes. I'm a big kid at heart. I'm a big kid, and don't grow up. They say it's a trap. I don't even know. Sometimes I look at my life and I'm like, how the hell do I have all this things going for me? Like, I'm glad I have the smartest people behind me helping me out. But yeah, just staying true to myself. I've always been a dancer. I've always been a guy who loved cartoons. I still do, as a 32-year-old, or animations or anime. And it's just something that I can't get rid of. I don't care how old I get. My imagination always runs wild, and things that other people imagine and bring to life excite me. So yeah, dancing, being creative is part of me. It's part of my genes.
It's working. Whatever you're doing is working incredibly well, especially whatever you're eating and drinking, because you're right, you do only look about 23.
I moisturize.
You've got a good
and I mind my
skincare
business and I sip my tea, baby.
You can come back anytime, honestly.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
No,
Good
this
luck
is
with
too
everything.
short. We should do it again. Thank you.
I know it was very short, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But look, everything that you say you're going to achieve, I think people believe you. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And thanks for coming and just chatting to us. Enjoy London as well.
Will do. Thank
I
you
hope
guys.
London
Thanks for
treats you
having
well.
me.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.